We currently log the date and the time, the last time the user accessed the system. So I'm going to put in my username and password. And when we get to the profile selection window, you can see that the system is up to date and that the user model last login was October 1st, 2015 at 7:38 a.m. Another change that we made to the CAD station is that when you do an incident search, those calls that were previously opened and closed without ever being saved or applied, what we call abandoned incidents, those are no longer able to be reopened. Notice when you look over at an abandoned incident, there is no option to reopen that incident. The ability to right-click close an incident is directly based upon if there are any service requests in the status of ready for dispatch, or if a service request is unfulfilled. So looking at incident 18, you'll see here that I have two service requests associated with this incident, MCPD and MCFD. Model County Fire Department is in the status of ready for dispatch. If I right click, notice I have no close option. The reason for that is because I have a service request on this incident that is in the status of ready for dispatch or unfulfilled. Once I fulfill that, and that service request is no longer in the ready for dispatch status, I have the ability to right-click and close the incident. When closing a service request that has units assigned, C100 is assigned to Model County Fire Department. When I right-click close, I can close that individual service request. And when I do, I get a confirmation window asking me, you're about to close this service request. Doing so will clear the following units, C100. Are you sure you want to close this service request? If I hit cancel, it does not clear that unit. If I right click and close service request again and choose OK, notice my unit is removed from the incident and my service request is closed. I have two users built, Model, which I'm currently logged in now, and Model Fire. Model Fire was built to only have permissions to the unit organizations of Model County EMS and Model County Fire. They do not have, or that user does not have, permission to Model County PD. Model has the permissions to control all unit organizations built within the system. I have this one incident open. It has two service requests, Model County EMS and Model County Law or Model County PD. I can right click on this incident, and since I have permissions to all unit orgs, I get my closed incident option. If I right click on the service request, I have closed service request for PD and for EMS. I'm going to switch over and log in as Model Fire. Now, if I take a look, now I'm logged in as Model Fire, who does not have permissions for Model County PD. If I right-click on Model County EMS, I have the ability to close service request. If I right-click on Model County PD, you'll notice that I do not have the option to close service request. As well as, if I right-click on the incident, I do not have the close incident option. That's an enhancement to 10.3.4.3, is that when the incident has a service request, that you do not have permissions for, then you will not be able to right-click and close that incident. The only time you would be able to right-click close this incident is if you had control of all service requests associated with that incident. So I'm going to log back out and log back in under Model Fire, under Model, who has permissions for law, and I'm going to go ahead and right-click, close that service request for Model County Law. Choose OK, and now I'm going to go back to my Fire profile, Model Fire, and log back in. Now that I'm in Model Fire, there's only service requests on the incidents that I can control, Model County EMS. I can now right-click and close incident. We've added the ability to filter the active incidents based upon a service request status. Taking a look at this active incidents tab, when I go to filters, you'll see that I'm filtered on all organizations and all incident status. We have added the option to filter based upon service request status. But for this active incidents tab, I'm filtered on incident status. I've created another active incidents tab, and you'll see underneath here, when I go to filters, I only want to see Model County Fire Department in the service request statuses of. So I'm filtered on service request status for this tab. The last active incidents tab I have created, if we go underneath filters, you'll see that again I'm sorted just Model County Fire Department, but I have chosen incident status. When I clear C100, who is associated with Model County Fire Department, you'll see something happen differently on all three tabs. When I right-click clear, notice on the active incidents tab that's filtered to view the incident status, this incident remains open even though Model County Fire Department is no longer on the incident. If you go to the one I have filtered by service request, you'll see that the incident is closed. And then the last one, displaying all active incidents, is displaying MCPD. So when you're filtered by the service request status, that means I only want to see unit orgs or service requests associated with Model County Fire Department in the service request status of. This will, when clearing the units, clear up your active incidents view so that you know you no longer have any incidents under your control. The reason why this active incidents filter is still displaying the incident is because my filter is set to incident status. And when it's set to incident status, it says leave this incident on my view since I've had someone from Model County Fire Department at one point on this incident. So when sorted by incident status and unit orgs, even though your service request of fire department is no longer visible, it will still display. When filtered by service request status, it will remove it from the view completely. We've made an enhancement to the unit status window where there's a checkbox above the unit remarks indicating whether you want to log that unit remark to the incident. I'm going to double click on a unit over in the available units window, and you'll see that we have the log remark as incident narrative. Now this unit's not assigned to an incident, and if I just log a remark and hit enter, that remark is just going to be saved to their unit history. And if you scroll down, you see my log a remark. Now, if we take a look at a unit that's assigned to an incident, I can double click on it, and it does have it checked to log a remark as incident narrative. I'm going to go ahead and just type something in and hit enter. Two things happen. One, we log it to the unit history as we always have in the past. And two, we log that remark to the incident narrative. So I'm going to open up the incident form and go to the narratives tab. You see here that A100 logged a remark, "Hi, my name is Michael." If that remark, or if that checkbox is unchecked, and I log another remark, we only write to the unit history. Here you can see the log another remark, but if you look at the incident that they're assigned to, nothing was written to the narratives. So we give you that option to either log or not log any remarks added to that unit to the incident. One thing to add, that with the check mark, if it's checked or unchecked, that selection stays until a user manually checks or unchecks it. So in this example, I'm going to uncheck this log remark as incident narrative, and I'm going to take Unit 100 off duty and bring Unit 100 back on duty. You will note that the check mark was left unchecked and will stay that way until a CAD dispatcher checks it back. So when we take them on or off duty or change their status, the check or uncheck applies until the dispatcher manually selects a different option. We now have the ability to validate an address from the unit status window. I'm going to go ahead and double click on Unit 104, and I'm going to go to the new unit location. I'm going to type in an address and hit F12. Notice now we present the Content Assist window. I'm going to go ahead and select that address for validation and close this window. If you look at the unit, notice under the unit location that we are showing that validated address. In WebCAD, we added the ability to access reports. You'll see we have a Reports button up at the top. Simply click on the Reports button, and now you have access to Interact CAD reports. One thing to note, that if the user that accessed the reports from WebCAD did not have permission to certain reports, then even though they accessed it from WebCAD, those user restrictions would still be enforced.